Yeah, well, we all have a lot of things to be talking about these days. I know. Well, we're in sprinter, I guess. It's kind of not quite spring, and it's not kind of quite winter, but I guess spring is on the way. That's nice to look at. Nice vitamin D. So, listen, yeah, the budget. I know the budget came out yesterday. I get. And what do you mean you want to raise? Come on, man, look around. I'm standing in my office, and you want to raise? Take it up with your MP or whoever that thing is. All right. Yeah, bye. Hey, welcome to Season 4, Episode 8 of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. Yeah, we took a week off. We've been doing this sort of on a semi-weekly, or is it a bi-weekly? Bi-weekly, I guess, would be the right way to say it. We are sponsored by Gales Gas Bars. They fuel this program, as they have done since almost the beginning. We also are supported by Virgin Insurance Group. We are powered and executively produced by WeeStreem, Canada's premier streaming service. And we are, I love this word, so I'm going to use it again, ensconced in this lovely pubbery in downtown St. Catharines called Fiddler's Poorhouse. We have got a really, I hope, interesting show for you coming up today. I don't know if you remember seeing on Niagara 411 this week the fact that a local band, kind of a semi-local band, going to perform at a bar. They had all their stuff out and they were going to get set up and everything else and do the show, and boom, and they came out and they realized that all their gear, or at least a lot of their gear, had been taken. And you know what? Having been in a band, having done that before, not stolen things, I mean having had my stuff outside, I often wonder why it doesn't happen more, and maybe it does. So anyway, we're going to be talking to them. We're going to be catching up on what's been happening over the last couple of weeks here in Niagara. And we'll be back and to do that. And by all means, we'll tell you also how to join the program. There were some things that got an awful lot of comments over the course of the week, last couple of weeks. And one of those happened just this morning at St. Catharines General Hospital, or I guess you say Niagara Health Center, St. Catharines, however you're supposed to say it these days. Anyway, 30 seconds, we'll be back with you. Thanks, come on in. Turn down a bit. Hey! I remember years ago there was a radio personality that did a spoof on car alarm commercials, and there's no way I can do it justice, but it was introducing the brand new James Brown signature car alarm. And if the alarm was activated, all you heard was, hey, hey, hey. Remember? Sorry, a bad imitation, but I don't know where that came from. It was just an old memory. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are looking at right now, before we get into telling you more about the program, what we're looking at right now is a car smashed through the window or windows on the ground floor of, can we call this the St. Catharines General Hospital? I don't think that's what we call it now. We call it Niagara Health Center St. Catharines on 4th Avenue, or whatever the hell we call it. Anyway, that's where we are. So if you've had any contact or any familiarity with that building, if you drive in off 4th Avenue and you turn into the main entrance, you go around by, oh, Kevin's got the map up there. That's That's cool. So you come in from that that right hand. If I'm not explaining this properly, Kevin pointed out to me, but I think I'm doing it right. The roadway that comes in from the right, that roadway right there, if you come in there, you turn to the left, and then you go around into where emergency is, and then if you go a little bit further, you go to the drop-off spot of the main part of the hospital. It's the main entrance. And then if you go a little bit further, that's where the Walker Center is, the cancer clinic. Well, apparently this car somehow went through the window to the, I think it said the left side of the Walker Center, and into the whatever it is, where there it is. Now, we haven't heard any reports of anyone being injured, but it looks like it could have been a possibility there, but for the grace of good luck and hereafter, that it looks like it happened. Now we don't know, Kevin, whether it was a health incident, whether it was just somebody going for the break and they got the gas, or what it was, do we? Because now I mentioned on the opening that it happened this morning. It didn't. It happened yesterday morning. I'm correct on that, right? This time?
Yeah, bang on. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, being at the hospital wouldn't surprise me if it was a medical episode.
That would be your first inclination.
A lot of times, that's the root cause of some of these accidents that are reported on 411, is somebody has a medical episode behind the wheel of the car, and then, unfortunately, it's kind of a car out of control. But how they end up perpendicular to the road, I don't know.
Yeah, how in that position? I can see driving through emergency. Thank God they didn't. But, I mean, I can see that if somebody's driving in and they're they're in distress. That I get, but that particular spot, if it's the spot I'm thinking of that I just described to you, I don't understand it. But
yeah, I mean, Nick's saying left side of Walker Building, so I think where we were showing on the map is, and it looks consistent with that photo.
I think it's pretty accurate.
You know, the comments aren't really giving any more insight. Just
people
drive-through healthcare.
Nice.
Good way to bypass parking fees.
Some of these comments all aside, though, I hope everyone is okay. Pray there were no injuries. Yes, we all pray that every time. Saw that I went decades. Praying there is no one in the... Do these prayers on Niagara 411 really work? I guess. Maybe they do.
Yeah, I just hope there's nobody on the other side of that.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, if that could be a spot where you've got a line of chairs, as in a waiting room, and people are waiting to be called in for their appointment, or they're waiting for their loved ones to come out from an appointment or something like that. Hopefully that was not the case. But I think we would have heard more about that.
Look at this comment here from Morris. This is exactly what I was afraid of.
I was walking along that wall when the car went through the window. The glass sprayed my feet. I was that close. Oh, Morris, if you're watching this show right now, call us. Get in touch. I'd love to have a conversation with you so that you can describe this, and that gives me an opportunity to really explain how Niagara 411 Live works. You are watching this feed right now, hopefully, on Niagara 411 or on WeeStream, or one of our sponsors' sites. And the only thing that you need to do to come in and have a chat with us is click on that Zoom link right at the bottom of the page, right down there. And Kevin will get you into what we call our green room, our waiting room. And all you need is either a phone or a laptop or a tablet or whatever that has a working camera and a working microphone, and you can pop on and tell us your experience or fill us in, give us information that we would really like to have, and hence Niagara 411 Live. And we are live in the moment, and that was, it always... it always concerns me when we see something like this, and very rarely, and maybe it's because of the desire to protect the person that was behind the wheel of the car. Maybe it's because that person was ill or did have a problem or whatever, and we don't want to embarrass them or their families or whatever, but it's still, I guess the curious minds of the human spirit is to say, hey, I'd like to know what caused that. I don't hold anybody necessarily in any disregard, but I still would like to know. I'm still curious.
Yeah, I see this. Maurice followed up, Lee, and said, my feet are fine. It was scary. I heard the car accelerate and come right through the glass. That's freaky.
So, well, he said he was walking by the wall. Does that mean he was inside the wall or outside the wall?
I think so. My assumption is it's inside. And then if the glass fell at his feet, right, he would have been inside.
Holy crap.
So you would never expect that.
It's like William Shatner would say.
I mean, the good thing is, right, I mean, if anybody needed medical attention, they're in the best place.
Yeah, I suppose. As ironic as that is. There
we go. My neighbors who were there at the time when this happened told us that the driver is a frustrated cancer patient. I hope that's not the case. And again, I mean,
well,
that's total hearsay.
Yeah, total hearsay, and that would intimate that the person drove in there on purpose, but we can't.
Yeah, and I mean, Simon says he is not a cancer patient. Get your facts straight. So again,
yeah,
I mean,
it's all over the place.
Yeah, drive through at the hospital.
And the last thing we want to do is spread any sort of rumor one way or the other.
But you know what, Lee? That's all about like being able to filter comments through your own brain.
Yeah.
Right? And the guy that said, I was there and the glass fell at my feet, that's a believable comment. The person saying,
because that's what happened to me. I'm not making up why.
My neighbors told me. So now how many degrees of separation are we? My neighbors told me that it's a frustrated cancer patient.
Yeah. And that's why they don't accept hearsay in courts of law. I don't care what your neighbors told you. What did you see?
Here we go. Niagara Health posted that there were no injuries.
I was just going to read that one, yeah. I was just leaving my shift when this happened. Joanne Scheibel. The driver might have been. Well, there you go. Might have. Well, that kind of discounts that.
Okay.
Did you see the
Oh, no. You want to throw it back on there?
No, it's okay. It says, hey, you can't park there. So, I'm sorry for laughing at a serious incident, but there's so much discussion about parking at hospitals. I thought that comment was brilliant. Hey, you can't park there. Oh gosh. All right. And again, we can only have some sort of levity because we know that there was no one hurt in that incident. I do want to once again welcome Gales Gas Bars for fueling this program. They have almost from its inception, and I really do thank them for sticking around and on board. Verge Insurance Group, you'll see at the top of your screen. Also with us on a regular basis, another homegrown Niagara business, which is what this is all about. If you have a Niagara business, you want to be a part of this program, it's really, really at a cost per thousand sort of reach. It's so inexpensive and so effective as an advertising tool here in Niagara. It is a program that's designed by Kevin Jack, who is a partner with Brandon Scram in WeeStreem, Canada's premier streaming service. And the reason I bring that up right now, we're going to be bringing on, just to let you know, one of the best web and brand managers and designers in Niagara, William Wooldridge of S.Keyol Media, a web design and branding agency. We're going to be bringing him in just a couple of minutes. Kevin, you guys have been super busy at WeeStream. I want you to do a couple things, unless we've got William ready to go, and then we can put this on hold, however you want to handle it.
You know what? Let's chat a little bit WeeStream. We got William here in the green room, but we're just ironing out some audio tech things.
Okay.
So we're just working on that on his end, so hopefully we'll iron that out and get him back in.
So let's do this. I host this thing. I am I'm the chief cook, bottle washer, and voice behind Sterry Voice Services here in Niagara. I do vocal work for retail businesses. I do voiceovers and audiobook recordings. Got about 30 books or more right now on Audible, Amazon, and so that's my job. And Kevin came to me because we're ex-radio buds and said, hey, let's do this show. And that was about 3 years ago now, I think. So here we are. But Kevin, I'm the talking head of this brain trust that we have going here, and I use that word loosely. But WeeStream is truly the unique element in this recipe. So fill us in just quickly on what you do and then what you've done this week. You've been busy.
God. I mean, what we do is we set up, just like you're watching right now, on location, multi-camera, dynamic, live-produced live streams.
You don't always get as professional a host as this.
No,
you don't always get that.
And what we've been up to, it's funny, we're old radio colleagues.
Yeah.
And on Friday, for the first time, Lee, I am going to be back in the White House at 610 CKTB, only this time not as a radio host, this time as the co-owner of WeeStream.
Wow, and, look at you go.
Former Mayor of St. Catharines and now Drive host Walter Senzik invited us to come into the studio and chat about live streaming and the effect of live streaming, kind of on the tails of Ray Spitaria, the Niagara Falls Review. He wrote a nice article just talking...
That was a nice article.
Yeah, about how the city of Niagara Falls has been able to leverage live streaming through a service provider like WeeStream to reach more people, make events more accessible.
Which we've talked about on this program before.
And that's exactly what we do. Now, this week in particular, boy, oh boy, were we busy. I spent last Thursday, Friday, Saturday at an Air Force base. WeeStream, this little company in St. Catharines, actually does work for the Canadian the Canadian military.
Yeah.
So we were at CFB Trenton, setting up on Thursday, and then streaming some hockey games on Friday and Saturday. And later
great.
Yeah, later on in the show, Lee, we'll share some of that stuff. I'll show you some footage from that. Last Monday, we were doing a wedding out at Niagara Falls. That looked fantastic. The bride had a rainbow dress. I have to share some of that with you.
A rainbow dress?
You know what? It was actually pretty spectacular. I never seen anything like it, and you knew that, when she was growing up, she's like, I'm not getting married in a white dress.
Okay.
So we did that, and then, just yesterday, kind of a last-minute impromptu thing, but Jennifer Jones, the legendary Canadian curler.
The curler gal.
6-time Canadian champion, one-time Olympic gold medalist. She was in town in Niagara Falls to promote the Grand Slam of curling event that's coming up in the fall.
Love Jennifer.
And then she was nice enough to do a little fireside chat with the people of the Niagara Falls Curling Club. And our son Alex, he curls there as part of their Little Rocks programs on Sunday morning. So
Little Rocks, that's good.
They came to me and said, hey, can you put this together? And just so you know, we did that for absolutely no charge because organizations like that are built on the backs of volunteerism.
Yeah, but don't let that go to your head. Not everything is for no charge.
No, I know. Not everything's free. So it's been really busy and we got a lot, and I want to share some of that video with you, including
we'll
some
do
of
that a little bit later. Jennifer Jones,
interview.
she is the rock star of Canadian curling, I think.
Absolutely, but we do have William here. And,
all right,
I think he's good to go.
We got him good to go. William Wooldridge is the owner, operator, COO, CFO, AHO, whatever, of S.Keyol Media, web design and branding agency. He designed and put together my website for me when I reached out and said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I know I need this thing, but I don't know what I'm doing. And William to the rescue. William, how are you today?
Good. How you doing, Lee?
I am well. We've got you okay. You can hear me, you can see me, and all the rest of it?
I can hear you. I can see you. Yep.
All right. And just a couple of weeks ago, out of the blue, you took it unto yourself to redesign the Niagara 411 logo, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I did. I noticed that it hadn't been updated, I think, since you started it. I thought, how come nobody's just given a little revamp to it? So I did it and kind of sent it off and didn't really expect to hear anything. And
Nick liked it?
yeah, they loved it. They used it. And yeah, Nick used it and loved it, sent me an email back thanking me and shared it a couple times on the platform for me. And yeah.
All right. Before we get an update from you about what you came here to talk to us about, I want to know a couple of things. The first thing is the name of your company, S.Keyol, or is that I'm pronouncing it right? Keyol Media. Website and brand. Where did that come from? Put that into perspective for us.
So S.Keyol originally was a different business called S.Keyol, and that was back when I made music. Soul, because everything I did at the time, all the music and everything was from my soul. It was passionate. And Keyol is actually pronounced, it's not the exact same pronunciation. It's spelled C-O-E-L, and it's Gaelic for music, and my wife is part Irish.
Okay.
So then when it
So put the S.Keyol together. Is it S.Keyol?
It's S.Keyol, yeah. So when I transitioned from being an artist to doing this, I wanted to separate the two, so I just dropped the soul and just made it S.Keyol.
All right. Now tell us about you. Who are you?
I'm Will, a web designer, creative entrepreneur. I've done a lot of things in the music world, a lot of things in the business world, and outside of that, I'm just a normal guy.
Now, you were involved, correct me if I'm wrong, because I just know bits and pieces of stuff that come back to me, because I'm getting old, I forget things. You dabbled for quite a while in the urban music world, did you not?
I did, yeah. I had an album in HMV in 2016. Pre-pandemic, I was nominated for Promoter of the Year at the Niagara Music Awards. Toured a good chunk of like Ontario, parts of out west.
Okay.
Not a lot, but some parts of out west. Yeah.
So what made you slide into this realm, this web design and media branding world?
Say that again, sorry?
Pardon? What propelled you into the web design and media branding kind of world?
So I was building websites and doing graphics for myself at the time, as well as a couple other artists I was working with. And it got to a point where businesses just started reaching out and saying, like, hey, if you can build a brand in the music industry or build a brand doing event promotion, what could you do for us? And that kind of led me into helping them. And then from there, it opened up the doors to helping develop brands and putting guidelines and strategies together. And then that kind of led me down the path of like, hey, I build websites for myself and people within my own circle.
Right.
Let me see if I can build websites for you. And, one thing led to another, and here I am.
Here you are. All right, now let's get to the meat that's left on the bone here. You've got something going on that you wanted folks to know about. And what is it? Let us know what's happening.
So I'm giving away a free website valued at $3,000 from now until it was officially April 1st, but I'm going to extend it to the 10th.
To the 10th?
So
okay.
It's the 10th, so full details are at S.Keyol.com. There's a little banner you'll see that says it's our birthday, and you click on that. So basically, you just have to send an email, let me know why you would benefit from it, tell me a little bit about what your business is, and you'll be entered into a draw, and then we're going to pick a winner live and give them a $3,000 web design package. We're going to throw in a couple months of maintenance as well for free, and help out whoever needs it.
How do you make the decision as to who wins the package?
I've got some people, some friends of mine that are gonna pick it for me. So
Okay.
I won't be involved in the actual picking.
Is there a criteria? Like if you're entering a contest, there's usually a criteria by which these things are judged or picked or whatever. So let's say that I want to, I know you've already done a website for me and I love it, but let's say I want to participate in this project. What do I do? What is the criteria that I have to give you to enter the contest?
Just got to send an email to
Yeah.
info@S.Keyol.com and let us know why you know, like, tell us about your business, obviously, and then let us know, like, what it would benefit you to have a free website, why this website would, you know, help you, and from there we're just going to pick.
Okay.
Pretty straightforward.
All right.
Yeah,
So it's
pretty
just
straightforward.
email you, tell you about their business, what they want to do, how they want to do it, and I would I would. There are so many different kinds of businesses. I mean, there's business to business, there's business to consumer, like retail type things. And I'm assuming, depending on what this person wants, up to and including $3,000, let's say you want to put an online store, for example, for somebody to sell their sunglasses or whatever, that can be all part and parcel of the kinds of things that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 3,000 is like our top package.
Yeah.
So it could be anything from maybe the landing page to a full e-commerce setup.
Right.
To you know, just even an update to their existing website.
Okay, so it's s.keyol.com, correct?
No, there's no dot.
There's no dot.
S-K-E-Y-O-L.
Oh, it's just SKEYOL.com.
Correct. Yeah.
That's easy. That's easy. Yeah. Now, how is it that this web design, I'm trying to figure out how to frame this question, because when I was running radio stations, etc., way back in the caveman days, if you will, of web presence, websites, etc., we all knew back in the day, this is even pre-Facebook and all that hoo-ha, we knew that we had to have a website, because everybody told us, oh, you got to have a website. The problem is, as you can be well aware, in the early days, okay, we got to have a website, but what the hell do I do with it? You know, and I mean, that has been, and I still see a little bit of that today. We've gotten a lot more sophisticated than we were, but I still see businesses, small, medium, and large, frankly, that, I mean, they got a website, but they really just don't know what the hell to do with it. Can you offer that kind of advice and consultation as well?
Yeah, absolutely. How to market it, brand it, get it out to the public. Yeah, 100%. That's something that we definitely do as well.
And so I'm assuming there would be like a Q&A that you'd go through with the business so that you could kind of get an idea about what it is that they want to accomplish.
Yeah, it's usually done either like video chat, or I'll go to the business and sit down with like the management team and just say, like, what are you guys trying to achieve with your website? What is the purpose of this website? What are the goals that you want this website to generate for you? And then from there, we come up with a plan to tweak the website to do that, and then a contingency after that, or a continuous after that plan.
Yeah. So I imagine it must be interesting to try to figure out with a client as to how much of their business or how much of their product should be online and how much of it should be like bricks and mortar in real, because the businesses would fall all within a parameter of, well, you know, maybe you shouldn't do it all online, or maybe you can. Is there any business that just can't do their stuff online without hurting their business? Like, it's like the wild, wild west still, is it not?
We may have frozen.
We froze.
No, we froze on him there.
I asked a question that was too long.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get him back.
Okay.
My apologies for that.
That's all right.
You know, technology works until it doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just got booted
That's
offline
exactly
over there, but that's okay.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Everything is everything is fun until somebody loses an eye.
Okay, here. You know what? We got William back here. So, William, just a little interruption there, but you can pick up where you left off.
Yeah. So, did you hear my last question?
You started it and I lost you.
All right. My question was, is there a business that doesn't benefit by having a social media presence, a website or whatever, or is it something that's good for everybody?
Social media would be good for everybody because it gets it out there. People can find you and interact with you. I think every business should have some sort of a website. What's on the website ultimately depends on what your business is. But I think everybody should have some sort of we live in an era now where everybody's pulling the phone out and they're looking up your business. So there should be something there that we can find that will show that consumer what you do, what you offer, how you offer it, and how I can purchase it from you.
Okay. We can hear you. I've kind of lost your video a little bit, but that's okay. So before we let you go, let me get again from you the details of how somebody that really, really would like to have a super website participate in this promotion that you've got going to have a website up to $3,000. That's pretty high profile. What do we do? How do we get in there?
So send me an email, info@S.Keyol.com. S.Keyol.com, or you can visit the website. And there's a link you'll see right at the top. And then just send an email and let me know why you would benefit from it, what it would mean to your business, how it would help your business, and ultimately tell me a little bit about your business. And we'll be picking the winner around the 10th of April.
Okay. Are you going to, when you announce the winner of this or announce the business that you're going to build a website for, make sure you let us know who it is and publish that website so that we can see it, because it might inspire other people to say, hey, I need one of those.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, mate, listen, I love what you did for me, and I paid, just so that somebody is watching this and wondering, oh man, I can't afford $3,000. Well, I didn't pay anywhere near $3,000. I paid a fair price for what William did for me. We negotiated, and because I asked questions and he answered me, and I tried to figure out what I needed, and you priced the product according to what my needs were for my website, and it wasn't $3,000, but I was willing to pay it because it turned out great. So I just wanted to point that out, that you don't have to go in and write your $3,000 check to have a decent website.
100%. We look for your budget, what you need, and then ultimately what you want in a website, but also what you need in a website, and then we go from there. With you, I think we negotiated 3 or 4 times on the price and the functionality.
Oh yeah, we
ultimately
dickered.
We built. Yeah, and then ultimately we built your website, and then I think we actually met up where you are now there at Fiddler's.
Yeah, we had lunch here.
Manage it a little bit, yeah, and then I showed you kind of how to manage it yourself, the aspects that you needed. So
it's time for another lunch, by the way, because I paid for the last one.
All right.
All right, man. Listen, pleasure to chat with you. Good luck with the business. Keep us posted, and let us know how the whole process plays out, man. Take care. Thanks for spending your time on your lunch hour with us.
No problem. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you, William.
Bye-bye.
William Wooldridge, Chief Cook and Bottle Washer at S.Keyol Web Design and Branding Agency. S.K. Why do I want to do this key? S.K.E.Y. S.Keyol.com.
Yeah, very cool. I like how, as a musician, he developed a skill set that was marketable in other avenues that he didn't know he was doing. You know, very organically as a musician, you got to figure a lot of things out, including how to promote yourself, how to brand yourself, and through that said, hey, hold on a second here. These are transferable skills. So maybe I'm not going to be in a music studio anymore, but I can service myself to other clients across Niagara. And I know we did a great job on your website. So if anybody's looking for something that's affordable and effective, S.Keyol Media, and he's right there on Facebook.
And by the way, I own. You can do things in different ways with other web designers as well, not just William. But I mean, I'm not saying that it's not available through other companies. But, for example, it is just what you need. I don't need a website that's updated every day because I have different stock to sell. Every time I sell a pair of shoes, I don't need to have the stock changed. You know, all that stuff. Because companies that do that usually have a company like Williams that does like monthly maintenance and things like that to all their stuff. Well, I don't need that. So I am in total control over everything that's on the site. I bought it, I paid for it, I own it. I don't pay a monthly fee. I don't, other than to host it, and that's the platform. Everybody pays a yearly fee to be able to have access to the internet. But what my point is, I own everything that I have that's on there, and I can do whatever I want with it. And he built it, told me how to do it, and then I do it, and then I make a mistake, and then I call him, and he tells me how to fix it. But anyway, so if you want to have a look at mine's just a splash page type website. It is not complicated at all. It's WeeStream.com, and that's about as complicated as it gets. And that's a good piece of advice, Kevin, that I received, and you probably did as well, is don't have some sort of fancy schmancy thing. Like, simple is good.
WeeStream.com.
That's it.
Simple.
Yep.
Simple, brother. Coming up on the show in about 8 minutes, real interesting story. We're going to talk to this guy, South River Slim. He's an artist, and he was down in Crystal Beach on Saturday, had his stuff stolen, had his gear stolen, and the idiot thieves put it for sale on Kijiji in under 24 hours.
Crazy.
But you probably saw that. And Lee, another crazy story is, and you and I talked about this goes back to a week ago. It was last Wednesday evening when, I guess down in Pelham, some motorists said, hey, there's a guy sleeping at the wheel of his Acura. And then things got a little hairy. And kudos to the NRP.
Wainfleet man arrested for criminal driving offenses in Pelham. So here we go. As Kevin said, March 22nd at 10:45 in the p.m., Welland officers from the NRPS responded to a possible impaired driver complaint in Pelham. Members of the public called the NRPS to report a driver passed out behind the wheel of a car in the area of Victoria Avenue and Weber Road. A lot of you will know where that is. Officers attended the area, located a gray 205 Acura EL. I don't know why we have to describe the vehicle, but we do. Stopped at the intersection. The driver was asleep in the car. When officers woke the driver, he refused to get out of the car. The driver put the car in drive, sped from the scene, narrowly missing the officers and their emergency lights, attempted to stop the car. Oh, hang on. Officers and other cars in the area. Sorry, I skipped a line. Officers activated their emergency lights, attempted to stop the car by conducting a traffic stop. The driver refused to pull over. Like, how dumb. Out of a concern for public safety, officers did not pursue the Acura, because they have new regulations now when it comes to high-speed pursuits. After multiple calls to the police and members of the public to report the erratic driving of the Acura, officers located it stopped at the intersection of Victoria Avenue and Canberra Road. You'll also know where that is, sort of out in the nether world a little bit. Officers blocked the Acura in preventing it from fleeing the scene. The driver was told he was under arrest but refused to exit the car. Wow, this guy is stubborn. Officers attempted to take physical control of the driver who resisted arrest. At 11:20 p.m., the driver was arrested after a brief struggle. The driver showed signs of impairment, and empty beer cans were located in the front driver's seat area of the Acura. Cole Wesley DeBoer, 25 years, of Waynfleet, arrested and charged with the criminal code offenses of, well, a litany, as you can imagine, of offenses. Kevin, this fella's going to have to pay the piper in numerous ways over the last little while. But what I am happy, not happy, I guess happy is the wrong word. I guess I feel good about the fact that nobody died, nobody got hurt. The police officers did their due diligence, and when it looked like we were getting into, or they were getting into dangerous territory with this dude, they just let it play out, and members of the public helped contribute to narrowing down where he was, and everything came to a harmless, I guess, conclusion. And those are the way you like to see these things go.
No, absolutely. And that's pretty much the sentiment of all the comments, Lee. But I want to draw your attention to this one comment because it just made me laugh. So the guy arrested was Cole, I don't know if it's Cole DeBeers, maybe Cole DeBeer, but here's what the one guy said. DeBoers.
Well, I was thinking of like the diamonds, the DeBoers, the DeBeers. Okay. Invest more money in mental health and trauma.
I was thinking of the one above that.
Oh, the one above that?
Yeah, the other, that one's it.
Wonder if he's going to blame it on De Beer. Oh. Oh.
Hey,
that is clever.
I don't know.
That is clever. I get it. That's
that one made me laugh. But really,
right over the old.
You're running from the cops and you got empty beer tins in the front seat. I'm like, what are you even thinking?
Well, you know you're doing something wrong to begin with, or you wouldn't have resisted as many times. And I know I shouldn't laugh because people like this can be on the road and kill people. So it's just the fact that no one was hurt. Kind
of the same as the Welland condo collapse, right? Like we can all sit here and kind of from afar
we can guffaw.
Right, but the reality is, like, thank God nobody was hurt. In this case, too.
It could have been terribly,
you got a guy that's impaired, that's fleeing from police. They said narrowly missing officers, and officers' cars ends up, again, parked at, that's probably 10, 15 kilometers away by the time he gets to 24 in Canada.
And I could be making an error with this stat because it's just coming off the top of my head, but there were two police officers died in the line of duty in Quebec over the last 48 hours. And there have been a number, I think there are something like 6 to 9 a month across the country that are involved in situations like this. And the statistics of police officers dying in the line of duty is shocking. It's becoming, I don't want to call it an epidemic because it sort of underscores and undersells it, but it's a terrible, terrible thing that as many law enforcement officers in Canada are dying in the course of the conduct of their business. It's just, and that's why these situations are refreshing, in that this situation could have been terribly, terribly twisted in another direction. And thank God it wasn't.
Lee, we got just a minute here. Can we quickly thank our sponsors? And I'm going to get up South River Slim.
We can thank our sponsors.
That's a bizarre story from the weekend that is yet to really reach its conclusion, and hopefully we can help with that.
Yeah. Gales Gas Bars Limited has been fueling this program as the way they have been fueling Niagara over the last 50 years, and the next 50 or more. They are a living wage sanctioned employer, which means that all of their employees, full-time, part-time, whatever, but mainly their full-time employees, are paid what is commensurate with what has been determined a living wage for Niagara's housing community. Also, they are a rainbow registered company, LGBTQ plus however many letters you want to put on that. They have applied for and are registered and are recognized across our province as a rainbow registered company, and that means that they are a safe haven for employees and customers alike in be it race, color, creed, sexual orientation, or whatever. That is their pledge to their employees and their customers here in Niagara. Verge Insurance Brokers, also a born and bred Niagara company, which is what we try to promote here on Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. Verge Insurance Group, Mark Shirk and Blake Shirk and the staff, always there every week with us, and we really appreciate the fact that you're there. If you would like to join Verge and Gales as a sponsor of this program, please let us know. The numbers, the reach, the effectiveness of your advertising dollar is second to none in Niagara, and I say that with all due confidence, that I'm not blowing smoke up your boot, up your whatever, or as they say, pissing in your boot and tell you it's raining. The numbers back up what we do as being very, very effective for Niagara advertisers. So you want to get in touch with us? By all means do so, and we'll add you to our corral of advertisers. South River Slim is joining us now. What do I call you? South River Slim? What do you want me to call you?
You can call me anything as long as it's not late for the show.
Late for a show, yeah. All right, so welcome to the show, by the way. Glad to have you here. And
glad to be here.
Love the T-shirt. Muddy's one of my faves.
Yes.
Muddy Demand.
Muddy Demand.
Muddy Demand.
If you want to hear some Muddy Waters, come this Friday to St. Catharines at Muddy's Bar. I'll be there.
Should I try this? I'm a man.
Yes.
Hey, but yeah, quick plug.
Yeah.
I'm a rockin' man.
Yeah, Lee South River Slim there. He's playing putties on Friday.
Man. All right. So, tell us your. We saw the picture of your suitcase on Facebook, and having been in a band many years ago, I always wondered. I always felt lucky when we had our gear out of the vehicle into the club or wherever it was we were playing and hadn't lost anything.
Yes.
Because it's all sitting out there. I mean, I've seen very, very big bands with thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment with all their stuff sitting on a sidewalk in downtown Toronto, and nobody is standing there looking after it because the guys are inside setting up the drum kit.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
So, and I worry about those, but this happened to you. Tell us your story.
Okay, well, the story is I'm in both Niagara, Welland area, and Windsor. Those are both Rose cities, so it's funny. Eh? Windsor's Rose City, Welland's Rose City. Anyway, had a show in Windsor a Friday night, and me and my good pal Grady Kaplan, who's in the band, came here, and the other musicians are from the Niagara area here, the band's here, and came to Welland, and great. We're good at locking the vehicle all the time, but something happened. I don't know. I know that it wasn't broken into, but it was done very fast because it was only a couple minutes, like you said, and it was taken. We didn't know it was taken until we were setting up, and I missed my voodoo case, my blues case with all my harmonicas in it and things and stuff. I always have that in front of me every time I play. On a stool, everything is there, and I can look at it. It's nice. Well, when I was
your
looking
security
for it,
blanket.
Almost, yeah, and has so many memories from all the places I played, Mississippi and California and St. Louis. The case is from St. Louis. Anyway, when we're setting up, everything's in, and we were good, like minutes and stuff. I was looking for that case. I'm thinking, like, where did we set it? Like somebody moved it somewhere. Looking all over, looking at things, and it's gone. Thinking, I know I brought it. Called the neighbor back in Windsor just to check the driveway, but it's right. I know that it's not there. No, there's nothing there. And then Grady says, I'm missing my guitar. Oh, and no. And he starts looking. So then it's like, something happened. You know what I mean? We got a police report right away. Crystal Beach is Fort Erie area, right? Yeah. That's the great, and they did such a fantastic job, but we did it quick. And then Crystal Chandelier, where we played in Crystal Beach.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was searching, like, more than like, because I'm still in shock. We did the show, great show. I just let it go from my mind. Anyway, somebody sent a Kijiji clip saying, like, is this some of the stuff that was stolen?
Right. And
I seen it. And there was only 3 things, and they were little things, but all 3 things were missing, and it was put up almost right away, like early Sunday morning or something. So wow. I gave that to the police. They did such a great job. I didn't know anything until Monday night at 5 o'clock, and I knew that Kijiji I was there, and I was getting scared that those people would like ditch it or do something because they had to know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they were found. Everything was returned.
Everything?
Everything except my case.
Oh.
And they got rid of the case, I guess. It was in Welland at a park. It's on that a Niagara Regional Police report that they put out.
Oh, like a media release?
A media release. And it's very distinctive, this case, so they got rid of it in that park, supposedly.
Yeah, and I'll just interject here. The police report says Maple Park.
Yes,
in the area of Clare and Thorold Road. Anyway, go ahead.
That's it. And I'm not I'm in Welland lots, but I don't know all the layouts of streets. So
I know exactly where that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I went there yesterday, and it's a big park, like all the outer reaches of that park. I walked all over the place, and just to look because if you look inside that suitcase, there's a million little things, and I was just looking for a little thing because if that fell out, then I know it was here. Anyway,
wow.
What happened? I just got news. It's not the best news, but the Welland Recreation maybe went to that park Monday,
right.
And they seen that suitcase, but it was thrown out, like to the dump.
Oh no!
But yeah, and that I just got that right as right in the beginning of this, coming on here. Now,
so is our next picture of you going to be scavenging through the dump?
Yeah, well, they're gonna look the dump, and then it goes somewhere else. Like they're gonna look at that area.
Oh man!
But I'm kind of sad. Like my eyes are bloodshot already thinking about it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Sean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that because those things.
I got my harmonicas back. That's what's important.
Oh, did you get?
You know what I mean? That's important to me, but. Case, I got my fingers crossed. You never know, because this whole thing, the police service did such an amazing job.
So these harmonicas, your harmonica collection, how many did you have, or do you have?
Well, I didn't have them all in that case, but I had a lot in that case, and they're expensive. They're not cheap harmonicas. They're like good ones, and plus, a lot of these harmonicas are special harmonicas. Like some are from Germany, right from Germany, that are rare. Some are from Mississippi. When I was down there playing, I got it at Deke's Harp Shop, and he makes harmonicas for Ozzy Osbourne, Robert Plant. It's a very big deal. But I got them back, and the officer had just told me that he found a couple other things that were in my case. Another harmonica that is it's an antique one. He's actually giving that to me in Welland today, and he's in Fort Erie. He'll be bringing that to me. We'll be meeting up later today.
That at least is good news. and I'm happy to hear that. Let me ask you this: your bandmate, what, Ghost?
Grady
has guitar stolen.
A guitar, a special guitar.
So
custom
you said
made.
you went on and played the show. Did you guys have enough backup instruments that you were able to do that? Like, how do you do the show?
Yes, Grady also plays steel guitar.
Yeah.
All right, and guitar. He had the one guitar they didn't take, which was a country gentleman Gretsch. So we had that. We had a steel guitar, which is very, very great, but there's pedals and finger picks and slides for that steel guitar that were in the case that was stolen. So he couldn't play the steel guitar that night.
But you still put on, but the show must go on, so you still did the gig.
That's exactly it. The show must go on, so I left it from my mind to put on, and a lot of people said they couldn't believe like that, it worked, but it did. And also the I lost track of mine because I'm thinking about that case again.
I'm sorry, I interrupted
and my
you.
The drummer, Jim Glover, he knew a guy in Port Colborne. He drove down there. The guy had a set of harmonicas there that he never used. He went and got it so I at least played some. They were like different harmonicas, but I at least had harmonicas to play that night on some of the songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That we do so.
Because a lot of people don't understand harmonicas and the fact that they all come in different keys.
Exactly, all different keys for different songs.
Like all harmonicas are not created equal. You got a D, you got an E,
exactly.
you got a right. So
exactly, one harmonica doesn't work for everything. Yeah.
No. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got a chance to do the show. You can't see it right now, but we have a picture of the case that you're talking about up on the screen, and who knows how much of it you will be able to get back in pieces. The more we talk about this, the more that people know about this. The people that do know what happened or were involved in what happened,
they're arrested and in jail.
Yeah. I mean, bits and pieces of these things might come back together for you. I hope so.
And if anybody works for the Welland or the dump, like maybe there's something that or could do or put the word out.
How do we find you? How do we get in touch with you?
You can go on any of the socials like Facebook, South River Slim, Instagram, South River Slim, that kind of stuff. I just watched that guy with the website. I got one. I'd love to get. I'm going to put in for that competition for the website.
Okay, good for you.
My songs are all over. Like I write songs too. So unfortunately, right now I'm changing a distributor. So my Spotify had a huge numbers on it, but now since I'm changing, it's in the midst of putting all the songs back on. So, but Apple, Deezer, all that stuff, YouTube, it's all on there for that stuff. You probably see that case somewhere. It's in some videos.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. We're going to be playing one of your songs at the end of the program today because what we do on this show every week when we finish, we highlight an artist that has some connection to Niagara so that we can promote their art and we can promote their music.
My family goes back in South River, also hence South River Slim, but they go back in Welland from like the early 1900s. My great grandparents are buried in Font Hill, Brown's Burying Ground. I don't know what they call it.
So
now.
we're gonna play the Ghost of Rock and Roll at the end of the show.
Excellent, nice pick. The video on that I know has my harps and that case in it, I believe, on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. So listen, stay in touch with us. Keep us posted on how the investigation or how the pieces are continuing to hopefully fall together, and we'll pass it along. So I hope eventually you get all your stuff back.
And I'm so grateful for the whole Niagara community that all pitched in and sending links and sending things and looking all over it. When I went to that park yesterday, I talked to some kids and their parents were there. I didn't want to scare them, but they all knew. They all knew about about that already. Like it's amazing how much, and the police the Niagara Regional Police did just an amazing job. Like it's rare that you even get anything back. You know what I mean? And it was amazing.
Kudos.
I'll tell you what, I wanted to put just one more plug in.
Go.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to be doing the Rose City Festival in Welland. It's the whole of June, but I'll be playing on that the nice floating amphitheater stage, in
the recreational waterway area.
June 17th. Yeah, June 17th weekend. It's great. I'll be playing at Crystal Chandelier Easter weekend, and I'm playing this Friday in St. Catharines.
You're playing at Putty's, you said, on Friday.
Yeah, this Friday at Putty's in St. Catharines. If anybody gets any info, you can also come to the show or like things like that. Anything like that will help out greatly. And I'll have to look for another case.
Yeah. Well, I say new beginnings are sometimes just as good as bad endings, so you never know.
Yes, exactly.
All right,
thank you so much. It's a pleasure meeting you.
A pleasure meeting you too. Good luck with everything.
Thanks for reaching out too. Thanks for reaching out today.
Okay, say hi to Muddy for me. Okay.
I will. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye. I'm a man. Okay.
I'm super happy that he got some of his harmonicas
Me
back.
too. I thought he'd lost them all forever.
I thought everything would be gone.
Yeah.
But so there you go. So he's playing Putty's on Friday, and he's going to be back in the Rose City playing the former Luminaqua stage, the floating stage there. So, and it seems like an all right, good guy.
Good guy. Rooted solidly in Niagara. Now I know in Windsor as well, probably areas where his wife comes from or whatever. So they've got probably two communities that they're dedicated to. But it's kind of a good news, bad news story. You know, there's always some positive things that come out of crappy situations, and probably surprised that as many people stepped up to help him and his group as they did, because these guys, they spend a lot of money on their equipment, and a lot of times it's money they saved up, and it's not just because you play in a band. Believe me, you're not rolling in dough. You know, it's not a license to print money. It's hard work, and you don't always get paid that well, and especially when we're coming out of the last 2 or 3 or 2.5 years of COVID, where live performance was pretty much unheard of. These guys are just, and ladies are just now starting to get back on their feet when it comes to performing live in whatever community that we're in, and it hurts when you lose assets that are your tools of your trade. Kevin, I know you were going to go somewhere. Talk to me.
Let's showcase some of the stuff that WeeStream.
That's where I was going.
Been doing perfect. I'm glad we're on the same page.
We are on
here.
the same page.
Small little company here in St. Catharines. It began in 2015, live streaming events. I don't think anybody in Niagara had ever paid a company to live stream anything, so it was a bit of a leap of faith.
It was painfully obvious, because anything that was up there wasn't worth being paid for.
Exactly. So now we're doing all kinds of things. I want to showcase some of what we've been doing, but again, MSM is inviting us back into the White House. I'll be on the air at about 2:30 on Friday with Walter Senzik on 610 CKTB on Friday.
What is MSM?
Mainstream Media.
Oh.
MSM. Oh,
so that's your cool lingo talk?
Yeah, I try.
Okay.
I try sometimes.
MSM.
Yeah.
It's not like MSG.
A week ago on Monday, we streamed a wedding, and I mentioned this, and the bride had on a very stunning rainbow wedding dress.
Rainbow dress.
And I'll tell you, when you see it, the camera didn't do it justice. Sometimes, there's fine detail that the cameras don't always pick up, but when you see it in person, you notice the nuance and the subtlety of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And boy, oh boy! But I mean, what a better venue than the Oaks Garden Theater down in Niagara Falls. I mean, look at that shot right there.
That is, I don't like the word iconic because it's overused, but that was an iconic shot there of the Oneida Tower. Just
like everybody else, I hadn't seen the bride prior to her making her entrance with her mother. So the story was with this family is they had met online playing a mobile app video game, I think called Dragon Slayer.
Yeah,
And
it looks
her
like a
family-
Knights of the Round Table type thing.
Yeah, her family is from, I think, rooted in Quebec. Her mom was very French-Canadian,
Okay.
and he was American. So that's why they wanted the live stream. There were a lot of his family that couldn't come to Canada for the wedding. But, of course, what better backdrop
Right.
than Niagara Falls itself? And, I mean, look at that. Needless to say, I was a little awestruck when the bride made her appearance and said, wow, that's a rainbow wedding dress.
She looks like a popsicle.
And I'll tell you, like I said, right
I mean,
now,
that good in a good way.
when you saw it with the naked eye, Lee, it was really fascinating. It was so well done, and the detail, the upper portion of it looked like every other wedding dress that you've seen, so beautiful with the detailing
just
and
the-
the beading. And I think she got it done by somebody, I want to say in Croatia.
The
And then-
A-line dress skirt part.
I mean, look at that. Just
Well, there's special colors, and is that her mom or grandmother? Or?
that's her mother.
That's her mom.
Yeah, her dad had deceased, I believe.
Okay, so she's got some special colors on there too.
Yeah, I mean, here we go. They're making
Oh,
their
check
way.
that. Oh, what a great setting.
But yeah, that look over the falls. We tried to position our cameras.
That's awesome.
I mean, there you go. A nice, great couple.
And you're skipping ahead. I mean, if this is your wedding, you'd be watching everything in real time.
Absolutely, and it's all archived, so they could go on immediately. They could, sit there at night and rewatch their ceremony from earlier that day.
And that's the cool thing about what you guys do is the fact that it's there forever,
I mean, look at that.
right?
Just, I know why they wanted to get married there, and it's because of that right there.
Well, how could you not?
There's a couple, and look at that. Look at that shot right there. Lee,
See,
from
now
Wooldridge.
they had a wonderful theme wedding, and they did not have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to head down into the islands to do it. It's right in your own backyard. The Horseshoe Falls in the background. It's beautiful.
We're truly spoiled. And then again, small little company here in St. Catharines, and we do work for the Canadian military. And I'll throw it up here and kind of explain what it is that people are seeing. It's here. There we go.
Now Nicholson leaves it for Galbraith. Galbraith up the
Sorry,
middle.
I'll turn that down. So this here is the Canadian Military Women's Ice Hockey Championship at CFB Trenton. So a lot of people don't know this, and we didn't until we got involved, is that, I mean, look at this camera work, Lee. This is just, a couple of guys and some tech know-how. And we go into this arena, which was built in the 1960s, so the infrastructure there was not designed to have games broadcast live on the internet.
You're not going to see anything in the NHL that is better choreographed from a filming perspective than this.
So the Canadian military every year hosts multiple sports championships on a national level.
Right.
They go ice hockey, ball hockey, slow pitch, golf, swimming, squash, badminton, volleyball, anything you can name. And it's really cool for the members of the military who are so inclined that they can continue to participate in this sport at a competitive level. So at every national championships, there are always 4 regions that are represented. It's the West, Ontario, Quebec, and the East. So in this final, you find Ontario, represented by CFB Trenton, versus Halifax, and they were representing the East. The other 2 teams were Valcartier from Quebec, and out west was Esquimalt. And they have their little regional playdowns to get to this. But what a cool experience. All the teams get flown in to CFB Trenton. They stay there, they're housed there for a week, and get to participate in this week-long competition that culminated with the gold medal game. And here we are in overtime. Trenton, Halifax, all tied up at 1.
Now, and here's the beauty of this, is the fact that in previous years, decades, generations, in order for people to see these competitions, they would have to travel and stay in this community to watch the games and buy tickets and like going to the Olympic Games, etc. But at least in the Olympic Games, there are television networks that put them up. But with this kind of a competition, there is no television network coming. There's no national coverage. People in Trenton and Halifax, Quebec, out west in Esquimalt, they have no way of watching their kids, their relatives, aunts, uncles, whatever, play this game without somebody who's streaming it like this. That's their only contact.
And Lee, to be honest, it makes us proud to partner with the Canadian military because it goes even beyond that. We had people watching and leaving comments in Madrid, Spain, in parts of Africa.
Well, because militaries are they're stationed everywhere.
So think about that. Think about the connection to home as, you know, your military sons and daughters are stationed overseas, and here they are, and they get to look right into the arena at CFP Trenton. And you know what? I'm just going to pause a little bit here because this is overtime, and I think we got the winning goal coming up on this play. And congratulations to CFP Trenton for winning. But,
spoiler alert.
Also to...
spoiler alert, Kevin.
Well, I know. And want to get after this to...
Looks like a nice facility, though.
That's the... You know what? Cameras are amazing, Lee, because this is a 1960s arena.
Wow.
There you go right there.
There it is. That was the first period of overtime?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it was 10 minutes on the clock, so about 7 minutes in.
Oh, that's great.
And there they go. And, I mean, you know, our coverage continues.
And there's no, as you said, the East, or Halifax, Quebec, Ontario, and the West, there is no way that those families would have been able to see their daughters, relatives play unless they actually traveled. And how many people can do that? They can't. So, but they could watch it online in real time with WeeStream's technology. That's great. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one more, Lee, if we can continue to just sing the
Kevin,
praises here of WeeStream.
The world is your oyster.
We're just doing so much.
I live to serve. So, you know, let's just, what now?
So last night, and this kind of happened last minute for the Niagara Falls Curling Club, but the city of Niagara Falls is hosting a Grand Slam of curling event coming up in the fall, and it's going to be incredible.
I'm a little upset with you.
You have the best, you have literally the best curling teams from around the world coming to Niagara Falls, and they're not doing it at the Curling Club, if that's what you're wondering. But the event is going to be held at the Gale Center.
Right.
But of course, a big part of the organization is with the Niagara Falls Curling Club. And yesterday, 6-time Canadian champion, Olympic gold medalist Jennifer Jones was in town for a media event to help promote the Grand Slam of curling, and then agreed to come down to the club and do a fireside chat.
God bless
him. Because our family, my son started curling there in their Little Rocks programs on Sunday morning.
I love that name,
Little Rocks.
I love that.
And because of our involvement, Steve Fish and some of the other people involved asked us to come down. Hey, can you guys stream this? We said, yeah, absolutely we can stream it because, you know, they need some help with some of that stuff.
Now, so, in this case, you did it pro bono.
Yeah, of course. So there's Jennifer Jones there, and here, we'll just skip ahead.
Oh, we love her.
You're actually a member of the Alliston Curling Club?
No, I curled there, but I'm not a member.
You're not a member?
No.
Do you play regular league play?
No. We stopped that a while ago, but I'm all about supporting clubs. Like we still pay our dues to the St. Mattel Curling Club in Winnipeg. One, because I know it would make my dad shine above us because he just loved that club so much. But it's just it's not that we don't want to support the clubs, but we're not home. Like I think in April, I'm literally going to sleep in my bed 4 nights. You know, and it's just, so we go and we try to do some stuff at the curling club. We practice a lot in Barrie right now. We practiced at Alliston during COVID because it was open, and great ice, by the way. If you ever have a chance, great ice in Alliston. Ice maker's fabulous. But yeah, it's not that we don't want to play. It's just a time thing for us. And if I am home, I really want to make sure I'm at gymnastics and I'm at dance and I see them play hockey. Because I miss out on so many things. I feel like it would be too selfish for me, to be honest, to curl 1 night a week.
So you've had an opportunity to play with some of the best in the game.
That's Sean Ford, the manager of the curling club.
What do you say makes a great
job.
teammate? And what do you say brings out the best in you with your teammates?
Oh, these are hard. Best teammates for sure are selflessness. You know, like it doesn't matter how well you play as long as you do whatever you can to help your team win. So, you know, I remember the first Scotties we won in 2005, I didn't have my best game at all. But my team supported me, they believed in me, and then we made that last in-off to win, right? So at the end of the day, like, it's just about believing in each other, supporting each other, always having each other's backs, win or lose, and win as a team and lose as a team. And they're all cliches. But I knew, like, when I threw the draw in the semifinal of the Olympics when we won, I had to draw the 4-foot. If we make it, we go to the gold medal game, we miss it, you know, we're scrapping for a bronze. And I knew, make it or miss it, that all of those my whole team would have stood there and said, there's nobody that we'd rather have throw the last shot than Jen. And there's so much power in that.
That's nice. So, what a real, genuine person.
Never taking the blame and always putting the team above your own needs. So for me, a good teammate, I'm actually fairly low maintenance on that. It's just more, I need, you know, people that you're going to support you, that will always have your back, will lift you up when you're down. But for me, my biggest concern is that I worry. Like if somebody doesn't look, I want to try to fix everything for everybody. So for me, the biggest thing is just honesty and just let us know what's going on, and then so that we're not worrying, that we're focusing on the game at hand and not being distracted by trying to fix somebody's problems that you don't even know what's going on, but they're just off. So that for me is one.
Canada's rock star of curling, Jennifer Jones. Ed Wernick, I know, would be up there on the guy's side of things. He's sort of a generation before Jennifer. And there are a couple of others, but talk about the queen of curling for Canada. And I met her once many years ago in Winnipeg. She mentioned Winnipeg in her comments there. It's a huge curling province. Some of the greatest curlers in Canada have come from out that way because it's cold a lot. But Kevin, you had up close and personal contact with her at this event. It must have been kind of interesting.
It was. She was so nice. I don't know why I would think otherwise. Yeah. So nice and very genuine. She had time for everybody. Everybody that wanted a photo with her afterwards, she stayed, you know, the extra 15, 20 minutes, whatever it took, made sure that she got to shake every hand and take every photo. And moreover, she said quite emphatically that she wants to transition into a career in broadcasting.
She's got the opportunity. Yeah,
I don't think she's going to have a problem at all. I mean, just name cachet alone is going to open that door. But the way she spoke, Lee, was like she was a polished broadcaster. And I guess if you're in front of the media eye for as long as she has been, and probably took some media training.
She has the look. She has the confidence. She has, obviously, the knowledge. And the background and the history of the sport. I mean, there's nothing missing there.
No.
The only thing is time. When she talked about time away from her family and things of that nature, it's a very time-consuming part of any sport is the broadcast side of it. But I'm sure she'll figure that. She looked tired, though, man. She looked like she was just bagged.
Probably a long day. I mean, she was in Niagara Falls for a little press junket, and then she said she went to have a dinner at Table Rock. Yes. In the what was formerly the Elements restaurant. I forget what it's called now. My wife and I had our wedding reception there. That's why I always remember it's called Elements. And then went down the tunnel and encouraged everybody, you got to go to the tunnel.
Oh, you have to
down
do
at
the
Niagara
tunnel.
Falls. So
got to do the tunnel.
So she loved all that, but Grand Slam of curling.
What happened to her appearance on the show here today? I thought you had some juice here.
I dropped the ball, Lee. I admitted to you before. I was driving away from that and going, stupid me.
I'm just embarrassing you because I can.
No, and hey, it's God's honest truth. As I drove away and said, "You're an idiot." You have right at your grasp Canadian champion, gold medalist,
rock star.
She wants to promote the event coming up in the fall.
Queen of curling.
And I can't even think to invite her on this program.
That's all right.
Yeah, pretty.
That's okay.
Pretty stupid.
I've booted a few things in my life too. That's okay.
We got some South River Slim coming up to end the program. Where do you want to go, Lee? I got to set up the outdoor camera, but where do you want to go here?
Well, we've had a number of. And we always see these in Niagara 4-1. The reason I'm hesitating is it's not that this week was anything special, except for the fact that we've had a lot of automobile accidents over the last little while, serious automobile accidents. And we were talking about earlier, I don't care what visuals you put up on the screen or not, but I'm not sure, folks, if you've had the same experience that Kevin and I were talking about a little bit earlier, is the fact that there seemed to be, and I don't know whether it's distracted driving. I can't pretend to say it's because people are on cell phones or because they're talking to kids in the back seat, or because they just have their minds on other things. And there's a shot that we showed you before about this car that somehow went through the window at the hospital, the big hospital on 4th Avenue in St. Catharines. And someone mentioned in the comments that was just to the other side of the Walker Center. So if you're standing in the main parking lot of the St. Catharines Hospital, or the St. Catharines, what do we call it? The health center, the St. Catharines location of Niagara Health. That's probably a good way to put it, because it's not the St. Catharines General anymore. It's the St. Catharines location of Niagara Health. So if you're looking at the front, way to your far right, like where to my stage right would be the emergency entrance, and then down a little ways beyond that would be the main entrance to the hospital, where you would go in and do general registration or go to your outpatient clinic appointment or whatever. And then right beside that is the Walker Center, which is the cancer area, cancer treatment area, and where people that have that horrible disease go for appointments, etc. And apparently this was to the left of that. No one was hurt. However, it was close, because one of the comments that we were looking at earlier said that this guy said he was walking along the wall and his car came through, and the glass actually splattered on his feet. So, but where I was going with this at the beginning is, I have been witness, and Kevin and I were talking about earlier, not on the show, just before when we were getting set up, so many people running through stop signs, running through red lights, taking chances, driving, if not erratically, irresponsibly. Is it because they're on a phone? I don't know. Is it just because their lives, are our lives too busy that we can't just pay attention to what's happening around us? Is it because we have traveled these same routes so often we take them for granted and we just zip through? I mean, you could probably come up with a dozen different reasons or excuses for why someone would, and barring a medical incident, barring something like a heart attack or a stroke, God forbid, that one might have, or some sort of a reaction when they're like a seizure or something when they're driving, and not with people can't help those things when they happen, but the other things that are just sort of lack of awareness. Kevin, it seems like almost pandemic out there. It's scary.
This week alone, Lee, and that was the conversation we had. I saw two. One just the other day, like a couple days ago, I was in Niagara Falls, leaving the McBain Center. And if people have been down there, you know that if you want to hang a left out of there and go back towards like the Costco and Seaway Mall, or not Seaway Mall, sorry, Niagara Square. You have to go to the lights. There's a set of traffic lights there to make your left-hand turn.
And it's a bit of a complicated area.
It can be.
It's not awful, but
that area, I mean, I'm turning onto Montrose, and the light went green, and we're about to proceed, and then hold on a second, there's a car that does not even acknowledge that there's an intersection here, and a car just watched it go right through the red. Yeah. It wasn't a case where they were trying to beat a yellow. No, this is red. It's just red staring in the face. Just
somebody not paying attention.
Just not even paying attention.
And people die when that happens. No, people die.
No, so pay attention.
And we've just seen too much of it. Once again, thank you very much for Gale's Gas Bars, Jessica Friesen and your crew doing an awesome job of continuing to fuel Niagara as you have done for the last over 50 years, and I'm sure more than 50 to come, as well as fueling this program. Mark Shirk and Company at Verge Insurance Brokers, Verge Insurance Limited, another born and bred Niagara company. Kevin, Jack, thanks for bringing us up to date with what WeeStreem is doing. You and Brandon have a hell of a company there, and you're doing great things that are putting Niagara, or at least keeping us on the map. So
thank you, Lee.
Congrats on that. It's always a pleasure working with you. Right now, we are doing this every 2 weeks, but we may be ramping it back up to a weekly schedule. If you would like to help promote that, by all means get in touch with us. The dollars are affordable, the reach is incredible, and as you have been watching while we're on the screen here, the Gales logo, the Verge Insurance Group logo, the Niagara 411 Live logo, and Fiddler's Poorhouse as well, they're on for the entire program, which reaches 20 to 30, 40,000 people a week, or per show, and millions over the course of a year. And that's true. If you would like your business to be associated with that and get those kinds of numbers, let us know, and we'll figure it out for you. My name is Lee Sterry. This has been Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry, Season 4, Episode 8. We're going to take you now to South River Slim and the Ghost of Rock and Roll. Have a great week and weekend, guys and gals.
Angels haunt my dreams at night. Tears roll down to the floor. Whisper softly to me, it's the death of rock and roll. Where are the words of wisdom that lightened our heavy load? Where are the sermons of the truth? It's just a ghost of rock and roll. Dispatch from the age. No late night radio while you're half asleep in bed. Rock and roll's been dead before it staggers away to bleed. I wish it would come back right now, come back to set us free. Dark and empty spaces. What happened to the rock and